Good morning. This is the court reporter. The judge should be here shortly.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, good morning. Can everyone hear me okay on the Zoom video conference for the 95th District Court's dismissal docket?
Yes, good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning. Going to go ahead and call your case. When you hear your case called, I need you to state your name. Let me know who you represent in the action and then provide the court with an update status of your case. First on the court's dismissal docket is cause number DC 21-08023, Francisca Sosa versus Estela Sosa.
Roy Reeves on behalf of the plaintiffs, Francisco and Jose Sosa, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Reeves, do you have anyone appealing on behalf of the defendants?
To my knowledge, he's not here, Your Honor. I didn't see him on the list, and I did email him yesterday and leave a phone message to remind him that we had this today.
Okay, and what is the status of this case, counsel?
We had a jury trial, Your Honor, with jury verdict on September the 6th. I prepared a proposed motion for entry of judgment. I prepared a proposed judgment, a motion to enter that judgment, which I believe have been filed with the court. I copied Mr. LaFuente, opposing counsel, on those on, September the 12th. Let me double check that date, Your Honor. September 15th. And asked him in that if he had any objections, if he wanted to double check my math on court cost or calculation of prejudgment fees. I provided him spreadsheets for that. I have heard nothing, Your Honor.
All right. When did you file your proposed judgment, counsel, Mr. Reeves? You're on mute right now.
I can double check that for you, Your Honor, real quick. I thought we had filed it a week after we gave it to Mr. LaFuente, which would have been around the 21st. At least that was my intent. And I can send another one over right now if the court needs.
No, the court doesn't need another proposed judgment. I just wanted to determine when it was filed by the plaintiff. Obviously, if Mr. LaFuente has some objections to the form of judgment, he certainly should have done so before now. Again, I know this case was tried by a jury on September 5th. I will take a look at the proposed judgment today, review that with the charge of court, and if everything is in line, we'll go ahead and get a final judgment entered in this case, Mr. Reeves.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, thank you so much. You may be excused. Next on the court docket, cause number DC 22-02675, State of Texas versus $8,221 in U.S. currency. Do I have any announcements on that case?
Good morning, Your Honor. Courtney Parker for the plaintiff, State of Texas.
Good morning,
Sure.
Mrs. Parker. Yes.
And Sean Story for I'm sorry,
The plaintiff.
respond to Matthew Patman. I'm in criminal court a lot.
All right, thank you so much. Mrs. Parker, what's the status of your case?
So, Your Honor, we had a settlement and we notified the court, which is why I believe this case is set on the court's docket. However, there were two claimants in this case, and one of the claimants has passed away. And so I had a settlement agreement with him. But note, we didn't have service. So we just filed an order. We filed a suggestion of death and an order for that motion to bring his father into the lawsuit, who has agreed to the settlement that we had with his son. And therefore try to get this judgment signed and into the court and get the case off the court's docket as soon as possible. So we're just asking for 30 additional days to try to get this handled.
All right.
That's correct, Your Honor.
All right, Mrs. Parker, we'll reset this matter for 30 days and you'll be notified of the new date and time. Okay?
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Next on the court's, thank you. Next on the court's docket, GC 22-06330, Eva Marie Tysky versus Baldomir Leonidas. Hearing no announcements
Your
on
Honor,
that. Yes.
It's Jason Miller for the defendant.
All right, Mr. Miller, what's the status of this case?
I believe we still have, we're waiting on a release. And once we get that, we can file the agreed dismissal.
Okay, I'm showing there was an announcement of settlement on August 31st. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor, that's correct.
Okay, and how much time do you think you need for this release?
I would imagine we just need 2 weeks for it. I'm gonna contact the opposing counsel. We should get it done.
Okay, Mr. Miller, I'll reset this case for 2 weeks. You'll be notified of the new date and time. But we need to go ahead and move with all efficiency and expediency so that I can get this case off my docket, okay?
Yes, Your Honor, we'll do that.
All right, thank you, Mr. Miller. Next on the court's docket is cause number DC 23-03204, OMR of Dallas GC LLC versus Chase Johnson. Do I have anyone appearing on that case? Hearing no announcements, that case will be dismissed for want of prosecution. Next on the court's docket is cause number DC 23-04774, Jose Diaz versus Juan Macias Calixto et al.
Sarah Schmidt for plaintiff Jose Diaz.
All right, Mrs. Schmidt, what is the status of this case?
Both defendants have been served through sub-service. We have been reached out to by the litigation adjuster for the insurance company. They asked for an extension to answer, and we did grant that extension. So their answer date is October 19th.
All right, I'm going to reset it for 30 days and you'll be notified of the new date and time.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Next on the court docket, DC 23-06279, First National Bank of Omaha versus Jan Maxa et al. Hearing no announcements on that case, it'll be dismissed for want of prosecution. Next on the court's docket, DC 23-07727, Sebastian Torres versus Joe Bonilla.
Austin Taylor for the plaintiff, Sebastian Torres.
All right, Mr. Did you say Taylor is the last name?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, what's the status of this case, Mr. Taylor?
We received a return of service towards the beginning of September, I believe on the 5th. So we're just waiting for them to file an answer. We're just gonna request more time because I've been trying to reach out to State Farm to get an answer on file.
Okay, I'm showing defendant was served on August 24th. Is that correct?
Okay, yes, that is correct. We received the return of service from our server on the 5th, but yes, it was served on the
Okay,
5th.
and they're being represented by State Farm?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. And how much time are you thinking that you need? We need to go ahead and have this case moving, but how long for State Farm to answer?
I shouldn't think it would take more than 30 days, Your Honor.
All right, I'll reset it for 30 days, but that will be the last reset, Mr. Taylor, okay?
All right, thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Next on the court's docket, DC 23-08164, Discover Bank versus Rafa Jafar. Do I have anyone on that case? Ms. Thomas?
Yes, Your Honor. Good morning. Teosi Thomas here on behalf of the plaintiff, Discover Bank.
Yes, ma'am. What's the status of your case?
Yes, Your Honor. On this one, we will be filing a non-suit. It should have already been filed, but there was a delay. But we'll be filing a non-suit before the end of the day. It probably won't pull into the docket until Monday.
Okay, I've noted the docket. You all will be filing your non-suit today. I'll look for that on Monday. If it's not on file on Monday, then the court will go ahead and dismiss it without prosecution, but I'll look for your non-suit. Okay, counsel?
Thank you, Your Honor. And
Thank
Your
you.
Honor, if I may.
Yes.
I have the second case that's the exact same situation.
Okay, let me go ahead and call that case. So DC 23-08170, Discover Bank versus Samuel Walter. And what's the status on that case? The same thing?
Your Honor, the case I have is DC 23-08186, Tiffany
McAfee. Yeah, right. 23-08186, Discover Bank versus Tiffany McAfee. What's the status on that case?
Yes, Your Honor. In this case, plaintiff will be non-suiting. The non-suit is being filed at the moment, and it should be pulled into the court docket by Monday.
All right. I have two others on the docket with Discover Bank. That is DC 23-08170, Discover Bank versus Samuel Walter. Do you know the status of that case?
Yes, Your Honor. On this particular case, the defendant has not been served yet. We have sent a box breaker to a new address that we found for him, and we would just ask the court for another 30 days to try and serve him. If we're not able to serve him, then we will file a non-suit.
All right, I'll reset that matter for 30 days. I also have another case on the docket with Discover Bank, DC 23-08203, Discover Bank versus Carrie K. Harding.
I'm sorry.
You need that cause number again?
Yes, Your Honor.
23-08203.
Your Honor, on this one, the defendant has been served. Apologies, it looks like we did not get the notice for this hearing, but I can get a motion for default judgment filed soon. If we could just get 30 days on this one as well.
Okay, you need 30 days to get a default in?
Well, I'm not sure if we have the affidavit yet from the client on this one, and so if we already have the affidavit, we can get the default judgment filed within the week, but if we don't, we might need some time to get that affidavit.
All right, I'll reset it for 30 days and that'll be the last reset on that case. All right, Ms. Thomas?
I understand. Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, that is all the cases that I have on my docket for Discover Bank, so you may be excused unless you have any others.
I do not. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, thank you.
Have a good weekend.
You too. All right, Mrs. Stickney, I see that you have a case on the docket. I have concluded my dismissal docket, so let me check on the status of your case, Mrs. Stickney. Did you receive a DWAP notice for today of a hearing?
Yes, Your Honor. We received one. Looks like it was e-served on 9/10 for our case. It's not
Yes.
showing that it was removed online, but somebody might have already removed it because we filed a motion to retain and a motion for default judgment. So that's what we're here to announce anyway. So
Okay.
I guess.
Give me just a moment to take a look, okay?
Your Honor.
And that's DC 23-02926, is that correct?
Correct. State Farm is the plaintiff, State Farm Lloyd's.
Yes, so we canceled the dismissal docket, dismissal hearing notice for you because we got your default judgment.
All right. Thank you, Your Honor. Will we need to set the